We are in Chapter 1, Exercise 1, the angle spacer. So we're going to create a new drawing. I'm using the web.autocad.com version. So this works anywhere that you have a internet connection. It will even work with your Chromebooks, any type of laptop or desktop that you have. First thing we need to do though is to go into a new drawing template. Now click the arrow. Make sure we've got two choices here. If it's a metric print, we can be and click here where it says ACAD Web Metric. In this case, all of these drawings and exercises in our text are in inches, unless it tells you otherwise. So make sure that you're paying attention. And in inches, we will select the imperial drawing template. And it'll take it just a couple of seconds to come up. So sometimes this will be faster, sometimes it'll be slower, depending on what time of the day and how many users AutoCAD has on this cloud version as well. So, but while we're waiting for that to come up, take a look at the drawing of the angle spacer. As you see it, you can kind of take a look and decide. We got to first think about where is our datum point going to be. So when I make this decision, I usually look at where the vast majority of the dimensions are actually coming from, or how it'll be easier for me to kind of draw it and keep my dimensions there related to it. So as you look at this drawing, the lower right hand corner appears to be where my 0, 0 will be. So that's where I'm going to start. But before we even start to draw some lines, we got to kind of create some settings in our system. So I'm going to type in units. I got my cursor in my drawing area. Type in units and hit enter. So we get all of the settings. Notice it's architectural format. We don't want that, so let's change that to decimal. And then in our terms of our precision, we want it to be a 3-place decimal precision. Object snaps at this point, what you see here and what we will really need is more or less endpoint or center, maybe. So I'm going to turn off intersection. I'm going to turn off quadrant. I really won't need those as I use this. And for the most part, endpoint will probably be about the only thing I need for this drawing. So object tracking or polar tracking, I don't need that on. Preferences, again, you can turn to dark or light. That's up to you. I tend to work on the light preference. Likewise, our ribbon will be up here in our drawing and viewing screen. If you turn that off, it kind of goes behind these property tabs over here, which you can't really see right now. So I'm going to turn the ribbon on and click done, because that way it will most closely mirror our formatting in the AutoCAD version on the full computers in at school. So I'm going to start by drawing some lines at 0, 0. So let's go to our line drawing tool here, and it asked me right down here on my command bar, it says specify first point. So I need to type in 0, 0, because I'm going to start at that lower right hand corner, and I'm going to hit the enter key on my keyboard. Now notice I've got the line length in that light blue. In this case it shows 1,832. That's a lot of inches. If I type on tab, then I can be setting my degrees here, but I certainly, and I'm tabbing back across the other line, I certainly don't want to have a line quite that long, so I'm going to go on down and zoom in. Now notice as we zoom in and get closer, so you can kind of push down on the roller track. So if I push down on the roller track, I can pan. So let up on the roller track. Now if I roll the roller track, it will zoom in and zoom out, so I can get a closer line length here to that. Now in this case, we're going to do the first vertical line, and we see in our dimensions that line is 1.5 inches long. And I'm going to tab over now for my degree angle. This is going to be at 90 degrees, and I'm going to click enter. Now it wants my next point. In this case, I don't really per se. Um, well, yeah, I can kind of know what the coordinate point is. So using this method, we call this the coordinate point entry method. So we kind of have to look at the coordinate points and place those. So in this case, my next point here uh, in the x is going to be minus 0.75, comma, and in the y will be 2. And I'll hit enter. Notice it doesn't like this value here. So we were given a different line. Let me escape out of this twice. I'm going to come back to this line draw command. This is one of the things that's like different between coordinate point and um, relative points. Uh, the online version doesn't quite give me the same specifications here. I kind of have to know that angle. So I'm going to play around. Maybe I've hit undo here. It kind of goes back in. Now, if I wanted to, I could come to this line and I know what that coordinate point would be. So I could enter that coordinate point first. So let's try that. In this case, it's going to be minus 0.75, comma, 2, and the y, enter. So now I've got that. Now I can go back and connect this to the endpoint. All right. Right click, confirm to cancel out of that. So that kind of is one way to give me that line and make sure that I'm in the right point, in the right position. But you got to kind of do the calculations and know what the coordinate position of this endpoint is and what the coordinate position of that endpoint is. So now I'm going to do one more line up here. So, and this is going to be a 1-inch line. So I'm going to type 1, tab 180, and enter. So right click and confirm to get out of that line command. Again, kind of the same way in the full version using this, I can just kind of use a coordinate position to kind of get that into where I want it to go. The web-based version is a little bit different. It's not that big of a deal. So I'm going to just, I started out, we worked our way around these points counterclockwise. Now I'm going to work around the outside edge of this part clockwise. So let's go back to our line drawing tool, pick up on this endpoint, and now we just are going to kind of read the print a little bit here. So this is going to be a 3-inch line. I'm going to tab over. That's going to be 180 degrees and hit enter. Now move my mouse up. So, and we're going to create a 0.25 inch line at 90 degrees, enter. Move my cursor. In this case, it says it's 0.75, tab, and 0 degrees, enter. Move my mouse up. This is going to be 0.5, tab, 90 degrees, enter. Come back over again, 0.75, and this is going to be tab at 180 degrees. So enter. And now I'm going up. Now here I do have to do some math and calculations here because this endpoint up here ends at 1.25 inches from this point here. But our line length starts from here. So I got to subtract all that I've done before. So let's go back and look at the print. We've got 1 1/4 minus that first 1/4 inch vertical line. So that takes us to 1 inch. And then 1 inch minus the 1/2 inch will take us, this line length is going to be 0.5. And again, it's tab at 90 degrees, enter to place that line. And now we know we can come back over here and connect this right there like that. Right click confirm to get out of that. So that's our outside outline. The only other thing we have to do right here at this point now is create the circle. So I'm going to create the circle. And in this case, it's a center point for circle that it asked for first. And now we just have to make sure that we are placing these coordinates right. So I'm at -1 in the x, comma 1 and the Y is the center point for that circle. Enter to place that in line. Now notice here I can say down here it says specify either radius of circle or diameter. Right now radius is active and I'm given the diameter, so I'm going to click D, enter, and this is a 1-inch diameter, so I'll go 1, enter, and there is the diameter on that. This part is finished, so I'm going to come right up here. I'm going to click on the Save As button. So we're going to save this as angle. Make sure you spell angle right. At spacer, no space between angle and spacer. Angle spacer, capital A and capital S, hyphen, your first initial followed by your full last name. So I'll go ahead and hit save on this. So it's saving up here. As soon as it's done saving, it's saved. We're good to go. Let's go back to our main web page in AutoCAD. So this is where all of our files are. So that was angle spacer right here. So I'm going to now click the box on that. And of course, we need to upload this. Once you finish this exercise, we need to upload this into Canvas. So you will need to download it. So from here, make sure your file is checked. Notice this is a .dwg file extension. So download that file to either your desktop or your flash drive. You can use your My Documents file folders. You have to kind of set up your file folder system and know where you are downloading this from. Once you download it to that file folder, remember where it's at, because then you'll need to upload it into Canvas from there. And this is how we would get this drawing done and submitted using the web version. So go ahead and practice this, get that drawing done, follow along with me, start and stop the video as you need to, go back and watch it again if you need to, and you'll be done and have this drawing taken care of in no time.